Hi, loves. This is Shannon Easterly, licensed clinical marriage and family therapist. I'm just going to do a quick impromptu video today on the difficult and sometimes painful process of change. This video was prompted, I walked into my office last Monday morning and my first client of the day looked at me and said, "You look like hell." Thank you. And in his defense, he was right. And I was thinking about how the clients who have been with me for a long time have watched me grow and go through different stages in my life as well. And a lot of my clients have been with me for a long time. I really look through the lens of attachment. And so for many of my clients, I am a safe base for them. They might come in every 2 weeks. They might come in once a month. Some of my clients come in once every quarter. Sometimes I won't see somebody for 10 years and then they will come back in. But I refer to my office as the nest. It's a place for them to come back and get tucked in and shored up. But because there is that longevity in that process, they see me walk through my life as well. And as I thought about my client's comments, you know who you are. And thought about the validity of what he said, I had to really think too about what is that like when we're going through big change. And what it's like is painful and difficult and challenging. It is impossible for us to go from organized in one way to organized in another way without being disorganized in the middle. There has to be a coming apart before we can be put back together. So if we try in our lives to avoid those difficult or uncomfortable emotions, we stay stuck because it takes going through that part in the middle to get to someplace new. And it's not pretty, and we might look like hell, and we might feel like it too. Oftentimes we need that discomfort in the middle. It either brings us skills that we will need in the new stage, or gives us wisdom or strength that we might need. There is the parable of the butterfly in the chrysalis. The parable goes that a man, I don't know why it's a man, it could be a woman, was walking by and saw a butterfly just struggling to come out of the chrysalis. And he took pity on the butterfly after watching for a little bit and began to peel the chrysalis back so that the butterfly could be free. And the butterfly came out of the chrysalis but was not able to fly. There's something about that process of struggling through and coming out of that chrysalis that pulls the fluid from the butterfly's body and strengthens the wings that allows that butterfly then to take flight. And without that process, the butterfly's physiology doesn't develop in a way that it's able to take flight. And we can be a lot like those butterflies, and sometimes that chrysalis is really uncomfortable. We might need that discomfort, and we forget sometimes that the discomfort is temporary. That which keeps us in situations that are not meeting needs, or even in situations that could be toxic for us, is oftentimes we forget that the feelings that come with changing those situations are temporary. Whether it is fear, sadness, guilt, embarrassment, frustration, feelings of failure, self-doubt, you name it, they're all yucky. And they're all temporary, but we forget that. I think of it like a tunnel. Like on this side of the tunnel, we know what we have, and maybe what we have isn't working the way we want it to work. And that's point A, and we want to get to point B. And point B is a point in the distance that we kind of have an idea of, but we don't know yet what it looks like. And we get about 3/4 of the way down that tunnel, and it gets really dark and really scary and really lonely. And we can still kind of see the fire burning at point A, and we know at least what to expect there, and we can't yet see what point B is going to bring. And we get scared, and we get tired, and we get lonely, and we forget that those feelings are temporary, whatever other feelings come with it. And so we turn around and we go back out of the tunnel. And we go back to point A, and we may stay there for a while, and then eventually we come back to another point where we realize, okay, point A isn't working, and then we have to start that journey again. And sometimes we will find that place in the tunnel many, many times before we find our way through it. But finding our way through it is kind of brutal when we're in it. One of the things that can be helpful is to really get a clear picture in your mind of what you want point B to be. To remind yourself that those feelings in the tunnel are temporary, no matter how difficult they are in the moment. And to have a really good, clear picture to go to when you're feeling all those feels when you're in the middle of the tunnel, so that you can focus on that picture and have something to move yourself toward. So for all of those of you who may be listening who are finding yourself in the middle of change and transition, whether you've chosen it for yourself or whether it's been chosen for you, and struggling, I lost both of my parents within weeks of each other in December. I was very sick with COVID. I'm in the middle of buying a home and moving and big life transitions. My hair's falling out. I'm not sleeping well. All those things as a clinician that you sort of don't want to say out loud, and yet at the same time, lo and behold, I am a human being, and so when I'm going through things, I'm going through things, and we all go through things, and it doesn't matter where we are in life, and it doesn't matter where on the continuum of things we are. Fear is fear is fear, pain is pain is pain, sadness is sadness is sadness. We all have a right to experience all of those emotions. So if you're going through those, remember those emotions are temporary. Keep your eye on the prize. Find your way through. In the song Just Be Held by Casting Crowns, there is a beautiful lyric. Your world's not falling apart, it's falling into place. Hold your picture in your mind and remember that on your way there, your world's not falling apart, it's falling into place. I hope this has been helpful. Much love.